Welcome and thanks for joining us for this demo of Tintri's latest product release, the vSphere Web Client plugin. I'm just going to walk you through a few of the features that have gone into this plugin to make a nice rich integration into the web client. This brings all the richness of the VM Store UI up into the web client so you can control your virtual environment from one place. Here we're in a data store view. We're looking at one of our Tintri data stores. We can get a breakdown of latency, our IOPS, our throughput. We can get our performance, see what our space is, how much is snapshots, VMware snapshots, Tintri snapshots. And we can also drill into any of these graphs to get all the rich information that we would get from the VM Store UI, such as the contributors. So when we're looking back in time and we want to take a look at say a history of the last 2 days, here's where we can zoom in, take a look at our interesting points, and find out which VMs were responsible for which ones had latency. And in this case, the green means that it's host latency. So being able to see this level of detail really simplifies troubleshooting and helps you optimize your environment. We've got all kinds of rich data that you would see in the VM store, also available in the plugin. Now, if we move over to our related objects, we can look at the list of VMs, and we've added a few new columns here. We've got the Tintri latency, the Tintri space used, and also the replication status. Now, the space used is quite interesting because this will show you your live VM as well as VMware snapshot space and Tintri snapshot space used. We can have a look at our snapshots. So these are all the Tintri snapshots. You can take any point in time. We can look over. Some of them will expire if we've got a recurring schedule, as we do on a per VM basis. We can clone any one of these snapshots into one or many VMs. We can decide to put it on this data store or on one of our other connected Tintri data stores where we have replication set up. One great feature I want to show you is this right-click, apply best practices. Here, we can look at the settings that are recommended in our NFS best practices guide. I'm sure all of you have read it and have configured your hosts, but in the event that one of your coworkers didn't read it and added some new hosts and didn't configure them correctly to be optimized, you can simply identify them with this best practices, highlight the ones you want, set the values, and save it. We can go and explore more features of the Tintri UI. I'm going to walk over to the VM view because now we can see Tintri specific information on our VMs. Performance metrics per VM, so we can get a look at our latency, our megabytes per second, breakdown of our latency, as well as any kind of snapshot schedule and protection. So we can have snapshots. We can schedule those from inside this plugin as right-click, all Tintri actions, protect. Now we can configure our schedule however we like, and we can choose to replicate these snapshots to a remote array. And if we want to have a look at more detail for latency, for example, I can mouse over, see what's going on, go back in time and have a look, such as this spike where I had far too many VMs running for the amount of compute available in the host, and the effect that it had on this particular VM. We can also get detailed information about the space of this VM, how much is attributed to the data of the VM, how much is VMware snapshots, how much are Tintri snapshots. You can have a look at our bytes remaining. This is for replication. So if while we were replicating, we had some to go, and as it replicated, then there was none left, and the replica is in sync. We can also look at our replication throughput on a per VM basis to see how much was going. Network is how much it actually used on the network. Logical was the effective amount after dedupe was taken into account. We've also got the option to clone any of our VMs. So that great cloning option that you would do in the VM store that would let you make, say, 20 clones near instantaneously can now be done from the web client. We can choose if we're going to clone it onto this data store or choose one of our remote data stores if we have replication configured. And we can snap it right now and clone it, or go back in time and clone out any of the ones here. I like this option because I can choose something from, say, on Sunday, and I can say vCenter as of March 16th is the name. Clone this out, and maybe I'm going to clone out 3 because it was something's changed since then, and there's 3 admins that are each going to take their own private copy and scour it. So you could clone out a current copy, 3 of them, and I clone out 3 historical copies, and 3 people could, or more, as many as you like, can independently put it on an isolated network and troubleshoot what the issue might be. This concludes the end of our demo of the vCenter plugin. Thank you, and we encourage you to log into the support portal and download your copy today. Enjoy.